rocking the campus in New Rochelle.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bobby Baez, and I am Iona College's voice of professional wrestling, and this is yet another episode of The Countout. Now, if you may notice, we have a friend here, Paris. Say us up to the fans, Paris.
What's up, guys? My name is Paris Haven. I go by that as my radio name. I'm here to join my man. I was actually surprised that somebody was doing wrestling on WICR, so I had to get up because wrestling is one of my favorite things. The second to music, actually maybe first, I don't know, but wrestling is my life, so I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, thanks for coming along, man. It's good seeing another fellow fan of the fake sport, quote unquote. So
shady.
Yeah,
Get him.
Listen, I understand it's not real, but I just really get upset when people want to put in your face that, oh, it's fake, bro. Like, you think we don't know that? We're like 20, 21 years old. Like, I'm pretty, well, I don't know, 21.
Yeah, 21.
20 years old. So I'm like, we know that. We watch it to be entertained. We don't watch it because it's a sport and we're going to bet on it. So
Exactly.
yeah. So thank you for coming on to the show. So we're gonna get
Thank you.
We're gonna get started get right into it. There we go. All right. So we're gonna start off with the review of this week's Monday Night Raw, which took place at Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. By the way, thank you, Kobe, for all the great years. Staples Center, had to mention it. So
Get that plug in.
Exactly. So let's get right into it. So the it started off with what was the first segment?
It was Shane McMahon came out. And
right.
he basically came out to say that the reason why he's hosting is for the people.
Right.
And basically he was talking a whole lot, and then here comes Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens had to come out because once Shane McMahon introduced what the he was talking about the main event for Payback, which was going to be AJ Styles versus Roman Reigns. Right. He felt that
Kevin Owens felt that he deserved the title shot.
That he deserved the title shot. And as a result of that, Shane McMahon booked Kevin Owens to fight the one and only Cesaro, I believe.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Cesaro came back the previous week.
Yeah.
Now, while I do love the thought of Shane McMahon running Raw, it kind of takes the aura away from their match from the Undertaker Shane McMahon match at WrestleMania. Because the whole storyline was that if Shane McMahon loses, he's never going to get control of Raw. Vince had these promos, how, he's going to vanish once he loses. And then he loses, and then he was like, run it, go ahead, why not?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I remember on that Raw, they did a little promo, and they said that Vince McMahon told him that he's going to host, he's going to run Raw. Now, I'm like, you actually bring a good point. Then what was the point of this whole stipulation then,
Exactly, yeah, if he was going to run it anyway.
Defeat the purpose. But I guess on the pro side, it is like good. It's nostalgic to me because, back when Shane and the McMahon family was running Raw, like, things happened, like crazy things did happen.
Exactly.
So it's always great to see.
And also Vince is 70 years old. I don't think he wants to be getting stunned all the time, although no one's going to stun him now. But, having someone younger like Shane to run it actually makes a little sense. Although I think what would make the most sense would have Triple H legitimately be
the owner, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Now, I wonder what's going to happen when the Authority shows up again, like when Triple H shows up again.
They will eventually. But
yeah.
So that culminated into the first match of the night, Cesaro and Kevin Owens, number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, that The Miz won last week after Zack Ryder had it for a a day. And so,
terrible.
Yeah. Hey, you have to give Zack Ryder something.
You really do.
So, the match, I thought the match was excellent. Cesaro and Kevin Owens, they've had matches before in WWE. They've always delivered. And this match is no different. And I was a little surprised that Cesaro won because I'm a Cesaro fan. But I thought that, Kevin Owens would have been, the guy that they were looking to groom. But I guess the reason why Kevin Owens lost is because he's going on to bigger things, probably contending for the title in the future.
Yeah. Again, like, I thought it was a great match myself. It's always great to see the indie scene, kind of like get out of that indie scene into the big, WWE. Like, it's a dream for some of these guys, and Definitely. To see Kevin Owens versus Cesaro, who come from the indies, was great to see on like national TV on WWE Raw. So, again, I guess they did have to make Cesaro win, considering The Miz is champ. And I guess you do need a baby face to fight a heel. Not necessarily, but I guess it would be great because, Cesaro he's back and he's getting a lot of steam. So it's time for Cesaro to take this. And, we're going to talk about it later, but, he's just sort of like repackaged in a way.
Definitely.
So
So then the New Day came out and announced the tag team tournament, which I was stupid enough to think it was going to take place on one night, which wouldn't make sense. But
You know, it does happen. There's cases that it has happened.
It's
so.
happened for the WWE title before.
Yeah.
But I guess there's a lot of tag teams. So I didn't know there were that many tag teams. But here we go. So the first match in the tag tournament was the Dudley Boys and the Lucha Dragons. Now this match was really odd because it started off, like a regular match, tag team match, and then it was a commercial break, and then we came back, and it was only Sin Cara in the ring with Kalisto outside of the ring, injured, being tended to by referees. So, and the match just ended basically like a squash with the Dudleys winning after 3D. So that it was a little weird just having that happen, having it end so quickly.
Yeah,
because Lucha Dragon is such a talented team. So
yeah.
Strange.
I mean, it's still weird to me because when the Dudleys came back, I didn't think that they would actually be on top again. Like I always thought it was just like another deal where they come in and they put other tag teams over, but it seems like they're really dominating the tag team scene again.
Yeah.
So it's always, as an old fan, it's great to see that. But I also would have loved if Lucha Dragons actually kind of took it over.
Have they won the tag team titles?
I think they did.
Yeah, they might
for
have.
a very short period of time.
Yeah, they might have.
Very short period.
Because I know New Day's had it for a while.
Yeah.
So, okay, so we have then was the women's match, which was Natalya and Charlotte for the women's title. It looks like the WWE title. I get confused.
Yeah. That I'm like, I'm not too fond of that design. Not too fond.
I mean,
but I do love the women's titles back.
Yeah, it's better than the previous title. Obviously.
I'll tell you. Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like they could have made it a little different, just to make it unique and still look prestigious. But that's another topic. So Natalya ended up defeating Charlotte by disqualification. Now it was a good match. It was a really good match. What one thing that got me upset though was what happened was Natalya put Charlotte in the sharpshooter, and Charlotte was tapping out, but Ric Flair did something to get Natalya disqualified. But I could have sworn that I seen the ref look at Charlotte tap out.
Oh, it's one of those botchamania things,
yeah,
right?
It might be. Yeah. So.
Oh man.
That one. Got me upset.
Let me ask you. Do you feel that Ric Flair is sort of an annoying
yes,
manager?
Absolutely. Yes, he is. I mean, he's supposed to be. Because he's a heel.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to legit not want him to be there. Not because he's a heel, but because he's starting to overstay his welcome.
I agree with you 100%.
Charlotte could still be heel, but you don't have to have Ric Flair there ruining these great women's matches.
Exactly.
So
I feel like it's just like after the whole, and I'm taking it back to the Hall of Fame speech. I think it's just like not this point. Like I understood it in the beginning, but at this point, I feel like this is like a big ego thing for Ric Flair to be there.
Yeah,
like
Ric Flair just
getting a lot of spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because when
capitalizing on that spotlight.
Yeah, because when he retired, he went to go wrestle in TNA for like 4 more years.
Yeah.
And now he's just back just to be there. So I mean, I guess he can't leave the business away, but he's starting to. A lot of fans are starting to get tired of him, like legitimately, not because he's a heel, but like him being there, like his physical body. So there's that. And then we have the Usos and the Social Outcast. No surprise who won this match was the Usos, of course. And the big news out of this match, though, was the on-screen debut, the WWE debut, of Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson. However, not completely, because Luke Gallows hasn't been in WWE before. He was known as Festus in Jesse and Festus, and also he was the Fake Kane, and he was also part of CM Punk's stable in SmackDown in 2009.
Yeah, he was Luke Gallows when he was doing the Straight Edge Society.
Straight Edge Society.
But yeah. So he's actually been here before. Even though before it was like wacky gimmicks. And I honestly he didn't really stand out when he was in the Straight Edge Society. It seemed like he was just a hired guard for CM Punk then. So
yeah, but now that he's in Japan, now he spent some time in Japan, he has more of a recognizable name.
Yes.
And him and Karl Anderson were 3-time IWGP Tag Team Champions in Japan. So they were just going roughshod over the tag team division over there. And when they debuted, they attacked the Usos, and the fans just marked out all of them. I mean, that was a huge deal.
I saw this everywhere on social media. Even the fans that don't really pay attention to WWE like that were really marking out over this.
Yeah.
Like I seen it and I was ecstatic. Like I was like, finally.
Yes.
Like I've been waiting for this for like maybe more than a year now.
Exactly. Because the rumor hasn't really been, kept that quiet.
Yeah.
So I mean, we pretty much knew that they were going to be debuting pretty soon. But when they actually did, it still couldn't contain my excitement. It was just a huge deal. And I immediately thought, oh, man, the Bullet Club is now...
The Bullet Club is now...
They're
all there.
Yep, now from the indie scene to the big time. So definitely, that was a very good moment. All right, so then we have AJ Styles and Sami Zayn. My goodness.
What a classic match. This is the definition of what a match should be, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
This is what the formula of a match is, WWE.
I'm going to be really cliche right now, but the match was simply phenomenal.
You got to do it. You got to do
That's
it.
as cliche as it gets, but definitely it was an excellent match. I don't know if they're going to have a feud in the future because they're both baby faces, but maybe if the AJ Styles is in the Bullet Club, maybe that will form a whole thing with Sami Zayn. I don't know, but I would love to see those two have matches again because that
was great chemistry from both sides. Honestly,
Definitely.
A clean finish. The only thing that I was kind of disappointed in was when he did the Clash. I believe I was talking to somebody about this the other day. When he did the Clash, I was hoping that maybe Zayn would kick out of that. Because I felt like the finish was a little bit unexpected. It was expected, but I kind of wanted them to stretch it out a little bit more just to pick up on momentum.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing. Other than that, honestly, like 10 out of 10.
Yeah, you can't have too many people kick out of Styles Clash though. Because
You're right.
when he was in Japan and when he was in TNA or Ring of Honor, nobody could really kick out of it.
Yeah.
And then they have Jericho kick out of it twice. So I mean, you gotta have people
You're right.
lose to it. So then you have the next match, Apollo Crews beating Adam Rose. Who cared? Apollo Crews won easily.
Now, Apollo Crews, see, I saw him. I was like, is this Bobby
I'm a
Lashley?
Huge fan of Apollo Crews, by the way. I saw one of his matches in NXT. Huge fan of Apollo Crews.
I'm sorry, but he reminded me of Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I know, because of the look and everything. But one thing that makes him unique is that he has the ability to be like a powerhouse, and he has agility.
Which
is really
scary.
Saw
that.
So I mean,
definitely impressive.
Definitely. So squash match for Adam Rose just to get him over. Then you had the main event, which was interesting actually. That they chose. There was a tag team match. I had Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, and they defeated two members of the League of Nations, Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio. Now, if you listened to my show before, you know I dislike the League of Nations. Not the people in it, but they're just really boring to me.
I agree with you.
There's no point to them. Oh, we're international. All right.
There was I think there was a SmackDown vs. Raw 2009 where they actually did something like this. They made a group of people that were international. So I feel like they kind of got influence from that, and I really feel like this stable is sort of lazy. It has potential to be a great stable.
Like I actually was sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
I actually me and my friend used to talk about this a lot. How it had so much, like you said, it has so much potential to be great if they added certain things. Like for example, this may be a little cheesy and maybe they don't want the money to do all this, but they could have had like video promos where someone would one of them would be on a podium or whatever, talking like a politician or a diplomat. Something like that.
That's a good idea, like propaganda, so to speak.
Exactly.
Like kind of how the NWO did it back in WCW.
Exactly. You could have had
good idea.
Exactly, perfect. But
that's a great idea.
WWE, they're often lazy with stuff like this, and I feel like they had nothing for these guys to do. Yeah. Although I think Rusev's a great talent, but just throw him. Oh, and you know what? They don't even get that much. They get heat by saying the same stuff that other foreign heels get. And they're not even as bad as other.
They're really not as bad. Like you definitely can't compare them to how Sergeant Slaughter turned into the Iran character or Muhammad Hassan. Like they're
Muhammad
definitely
Hassan,
you're not comparing them to this at all.
I actually did a religion assignment on Muhammad Hassan.
Did you really?
No, I didn't do an assignment on him.
Oh,
it was for just media and entertainment. I used him as an example.
That's a good. Wow, that's
I did it Wednesday this week, so it was bull, but it worked out. But back to the match, though. The match was good. I love the ending. The ending was really excellent. You had Bray Wyatt. He did Sister Abigail on, what was it?
It was Del Rio.
And then while he was getting a pin, Roman Reigns hit Sheamus with the spear to make sure it doesn't interfere.
And let me tell you, that spear was really good. Like the panning of the camera was really great. He came out the spear out of nowhere. I thought that was a highlight of the match. Definitely. One of the highlights.
Definitely. And so Bray and Roman ended up winning. We will unfortunately not be able to see what this culminates into because of some news regarding Bray Wyatt, but we're going to save that for a later segment. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be right back and discuss some of the feuds and future booking that will take place in the WWE. So stay tuned.
All right.